So here we are tonight for BFR. It's season 3, round 10 of their realistic grid. And we head to Circuit de Barcelona for Spain. As mentioned in the realistic division, we were with them on, I think it was Tuesday or Monday night, I believe, for their usual equal division. And it was very entertaining around Qatar. Some good battling in the midfield that we saw. And let's just run through the driver's standings for this grid. First time with these guys on a Thursday night, so we will navigate as best we can and try to set the scene. So Arctic Ryan at the moment leading the championship there in P1. He's 220 points ahead of Grit 86, who is on 209 points. Just back there in third, Positive, who we saw winning Qatar on the Monday night. He is on 194 points. Kevin Annihilator, on 194 points. And then in fifth, Eugene on 192. We won't run through everybody, but that is your top 5. And it's all very tight after 9 rounds of racing. So very interesting, tight grid. It's going to be it's going to be really good to see. Positive there, I've got my eye on tonight. Like I said, he won quite clearly in Qatar the other evening in the equal division. Very, very quick driver, very fast in quali as well. So to see him third in this grid, but this is the beauty of the realistic cars, isn't it? He's in the Cadillac, so slowest car on the grid possibly there, and that's probably why he's in third and not top. So it really does level out, although the Haas of Arctic Ryan wouldn't be particularly quick. So it's going to be interesting to see these guys going at it. Grit there in the Ferrari, of course. That's a real top-end car, 209. I think he's actually a Tier 2 driver on a Monday evening, and he's doing rather well, although he had a bit of a nightmare the other night. So that is your driver standings, and we'll just flick across here to the team standings. Haas out in front, 363 points. Mercedes not too far back there, plenty of time left on 335 points. Then there is a little bit of a gap that starts to form to Ferrari in third, and then Red Bull on 284 points. So it looks at the moment like a 4-horse race, but obviously anything can happen. There is still plenty of time left in the season. We're just on that halfway mark, I believe. There's 18 races, and this is round 10. So we are only halfway. And we will just check that calendar with you. Yes, as mentioned there, 18 race season. We are in round 10, Barcelona on the 27th, which is today. This was scheduled to be a 100% distance race, but I think there was a few dropouts late on, so the decision was made to make it a 50% race, which is always good, but it is realistic cars, so it's going to be interesting. And then we interestingly finish up there in Qatar, LaSalle, where we just raced on Monday in their other division on the 22nd of October. So still some time to go, some good grids to come. We have another Spanish race there on race 12 in Madrid, which should be interesting. So that's hopefully set the scene for tonight. The guys at the moment are just loading in and beginning to get ready. So we will be back very, very shortly, and we will take a very short break, and where we will, I'm sure, run over the standings once again. So, as mentioned, we are just making our way to quali now. It's a short quali followed by a 50% race this evening. Our second time in BFR, but we did commentate on the equal division on Monday night. We're now back with them for their realistic division on their Thursday night. Was scheduled to be a 100% race. It has now moved to a 50% race, but that can only be good news. A tight track here around Barcelona, 4.6 kilometers of track that the guys will be navigating and competing on. 14 corners. It's another fast flowing track, very similar in some respects to Qatar that we raced on Monday. But I hope the grid's a little bit closer, although the midfield on Monday was really interesting to watch. Some great battling there from BFR Chocky, Kevin Annihilator, Bakey Gaming. They were all involved, and Eugene as well. It was all very, very good to watch and very entertaining. And we have rain in quali. It is raining in Spain. The rain in Spain. It has arrived. This is going to get very spicy very quickly as we will follow the guys. We'll have a lot of on-board action for quali before we move to more broadcast type action for the actual race. And we'll try and see. There's some guys I want to have a look at here. Positive left it very late to go out in quali in Qatar for the equal division, but I'm just wondering if he'll leave it as late again, because he's definitely one that I want to try and watch. 15 drivers on the grid tonight. A few names that I recognise there. There is a couple that are missing as well. Is our Arctic Ryan? Is he racing tonight? Maybe. Yes, he is. He's obviously the championship leader, so we'll certainly want to get on with him at some stage, as well as Grit, who's in second place in the championship, and of course Positive, Kevin, Eugene, all up there fighting. And already we are on board with Arctic, who's out on the intermediates here for obviously the rain. It's quite bright here in Spain, but it's certainly very wet. And this, of course, just his out lap to begin. Deckers is also out. Deckers is a reserve tonight. He races in my league, CSRL. Hope they don't mind the plug. But he has jumped across to reserve in this league tonight. Deckers has certainly gained speed over the last season or two elsewhere. So will he be much of a challenge in that Williams across this grid? It's yet to be seen. And we'll just put on and see if also where Deckers is. Not to favour, no favouritism. Just want to see if he's a bit further down. No, he's actually behind the Haas. So we'll stick with the Haas for now and see what sort of time our championship leader can set as he comes down this back straight. Of course, this is just an outlap. The excitement hasn't yet begun. Interesting to see how these guys navigate Spain in the rain. I don't think I've ever driven Spain when it's wet. Lap record here in the dry is 1:15.7. That was set by Oscar Piastri in 2025. And of course, Lewis Hamilton took his first win for Ferrari here this year. His 106th win in Grand Prix. And here we go, watching the Haas coming down that long straight to begin his hot lap. And just a little bit slidey there. We'll get on board with him, as I mentioned we would. As he approaches Repsol here, turn 4. And sector 2. Just trying to steady the ship. No heroics just yet. Here on turn 5. All very tidy. Turns 7 and 8 here. Can gain so much time in 7 and 8 if you take it properly. And around Campsa and down the back straight we go again. And Just very, very careful around there. And turn 12 now. Bank the Sabadell. Nicely done. Gets a good exit. This is where you need to be brave, but also somewhat cautious into New Holland. And then he comes up the straight here to set the time of 1:30.4. Let's see what's behind. Boldager, 1:30. Papa Rim, 1:31. Let's try to get to our man Deckers and see where he or what he's going to do. He's on an outlap at the moment, actually, so we'll get to, if we can in time, Jay Kraut. Worth mentioning, this guy the other day, I believe, was the only driver to go around Qatar with no penalties, not a single penalty, but the rest of the grid did pick him up. Kevin Annihilator sets a 1:30.1 there. We know he has pace. He takes pole position for the moment. Eugene, if we can get to him in time, as he's finishing his lap in the Mercedes. It's a good car for Eugene, I feel, in this realistic tier. 1:29.7, and just as I say it, he goes and sets a pole lap for the time being. Let's try to get to Deckers. Here he is. Deckers just saying to me on the stream, this is his first time in the rain anywhere, whilst being on the new DLC, the update. And we'll see what he can do here as he goes around turn 12. He looks very squiggly there, losing a lot of time. But that's fine. Just set a time, get yourself locked in, get a feel for it. It's early doors. He's just about okay there. He won't be competing at the top just for now. In fact, was that an outlap? It could have well been, because there's no time, so apologies. And here he goes. Jay Kraut sets a 1:34, and Deckers there is into the wall. They're still waiting for positive, but I'm not sure if he's left the session by. Let's just show you if we can find hybrid here, as he's not yet set a time, him and Deckers. BFR Jockey goes pole with a 1:29.3 there. Great lap from the league owner, BFR Jockey, in the Red Bull, Racing Bull, sorry. Or is that the Red Bull? Sorry, no, that is the. He sets a great lap there in the Red Bull. Very, very good. His hybrid trying to come across the line here, and he goes up to P9 in the Racing Ball. That's what caused the confusion there. I thought I was on with BFR and I was not. It's pretty tight there, up to around 8th. Very concerned why positive isn't on track or even in, it seems, the lobby. There's old agent here. Buladiga. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that, but I'll keep trying throughout the evening, that's for sure. Here he is in the Alpine. Armour King puts himself into 3rd, and the Alpine driver just struggling here to keep it online. And he's really fighting this. I don't think he's going to worry the top guys at the moment. BFR Chucky, as he stayed out, he has. As he comes down the straight here, he may be running a second hot lap, so we'll stay on board with him in this Red Bull. Seems very, very steady and very capable in the rain, and it would seem so with that time he's set there. Raced well the other day in the midfield, was constantly battling throughout the race in Qatar. And Decker's saying the assists are so hard in the rain. Well, turn them off then, mate, if they're not helping. He's in the pits, Decker's, at the moment. We're just going to stay on board here with Chocky, because I'm not sure if he's trying to set a lap. It looks as though he is. Let's see if he can... Oh, sorry, Deckers. He's telling me the assists are off, so fair play for trying. Good man. And just here in turn 12 now. That's actually the quickest sector 2 of the qualifying session from not just BFR Chucky, but anyone. Kevin Annihilator goes 1:28.9 to take pole here, but Chucky, we know he had a very quick sector 2. So is he going to get along the line? And can he nick this back? It's going to be a toughie, but he does it. 1:28.8. Great lap from Chucky there in the Red Bull. Destroys his sister team's time by a 10th there. Just as Kevin had set a time, Chucky says, no thank you. I will have that right back. Very good lap. Let's have a look here. Positive still not in. I'm not too sure what's going on. And here's a name we haven't come across before. If I can find him. He's Darth Timms. Let's look at Darth Timms here because he's crept into that top 3. And of course he's racing with Ferrari, and if Grit can get his act together and get up there and get some decent constructor points for Ferrari this evening, then it makes the constructors a little bit more interesting and brings Ferrari right back into it as well. I mean, they're not a million miles away. 62 points off a Haas on the top at the minute, only halfway into the season. So all of these guys will want to do well for their teams. The 2 Haas drivers consistency there in 7th and 8th at the moment. Here we go with Darth Timms. Again, not too sure. I believe he was out on a lap, so let's have a look. And Grit there. Well, we just mentioned Grit. About him getting his act together. Well, he's certainly gone and done that because he's taken pole for now, 1:28.8. So fantastic lap from him. He, of course, second in the championship to Arctic Ryan, where is he right now? Let's have a look. He's in the pits. And we'll go to Deckers again here because he's making his debut this evening. He's in the Williams. He's struggled out there straight away, but in fairness to Deckers, we do know this week he's taken all of the assists off, so it's set himself a real challenge. Not just doing that, but also then getting placed into a Williams, as well as without the assist. But he's hanging on here. He's full respect to him for trying this. He's just been a little bit unlucky that it's raining as well. Around 6 minutes left of qualifying. Here comes Deckers. To the line, and he goes up to P11 there, Deckers, so there's an improvement. Eugene in the Mercedes P5 at the moment, a 1:29.5, so he's way off of the pace at the minute, but he's only been around once, I believe, so needs to get to grips with this weather and try and set a time. BFR Chucky and Grit at the moment both are in the pits. Kevin is on an outlap, so we'll probably jump back to Kevin in a second here to see if he can challenge these guys in the top positions. I expect he definitely can do something. Here is Eugene about to come across the line. P2 for Eugene. Much improved there, a 1:28.8. It's all very close, isn't it? Look at this. There's, I mean, 1:28.8. There's 3 times there. That is unbelievably close between the Ferrari, the Mercedes, and the Red Bull. So kudos here to the admin team getting these realistic cars set right. And Duff, I think, is still out there trying, isn't he? We'll stick with him for a second until Kevin's ready to go. Of course, Ferrari are in the mix for the constructors, and they're P1 and P4 at the moment, so big points coming their way if this holds on. No, okay, he's done. So let's have a look here at hybrid, because Kevin actually went into the pits. See if our next man down hybrid in P6 can challenge at all in this racing ball. I mean, the two Ferraris are up there, the two racing balls are up there, the Alpines are paired together, the Hasses are paired together. It's all very tight. The cars are performing how they should be by the looks of things. We've got Grit going out for an out lap now, so we'll also switch to him as hybrid comes across the line and don't think he improved. Eugene takes pole. Where did that come from? I switched from Eugene just a second ago. He's just hit a 128.7 in the Mercedes, so Eugene at the moment is on pole position. That's incredible. We're going to go across to BFR Jockey to see if he can challenge that. He's now on a lap. It is all chopping and changing here. Jay Kraut down in P14. He's really struggling in that McLaren, but we saw him the other night in Qatar, and fair play to the man. He wasn't the quickest out there, but he was certainly the safest and racked up no penalties. The only man on track not to receive a track limit. Here is BFR Chucky, who's now dropped down to 4th because I'm going to call him Baldaja. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. That's what I'm calling him. He's now taken P2 at the moment, 128.8. And here comes Chucky here around turn 12. Now this is the two good sectors from Chucky for his own time, but he's a good third sector here. Around New Holland in turn 14. Can he do anything to jump up the grid? I think he might. He's gone P1. Shocky now takes P1. 128.4. This is fantastic to watch. Now we need to get over to Grit here in the Ferrari. He's just going into sector 2, turn 4 here, Repsol. Well, this is a brilliant quali session. Look at the times. That's absolutely fantastic to watch here. McLaren letting the Ferrari through. And Grit is starting to push now. He's into turn 7 and 8. He had a good sector 1, sector 2. We're not too sure. He's turn 9 at the moment here at Cancer. Comes up the back straight. Turn 10. It's another good sector for him compared to his own times. From turn 11 and then turn 12. I'll take my eyes off of this because it's all very, very nip and tuck. Around turn 13 and now approaching New Holland here, turn 14. Needs to get his foot down, settle the car, and off he goes here. Can he challenge BFR Chucky's time? He does! He goes 128.401, and now Grit takes pole in qualifying. One of the best qualifying sessions I've ever seen. This is absolutely fantastic. Let's try to switch here now to Boldager. It's all going off. Boldager is what we're calling him. I'm not at all sure that's how you pronounce his name, but I'm sure people will know what I mean as he now approaches turn 10. And let me tell you, he is up. He has had a purple sector 1. He's got a green sector 2. Turn 12 now. This could get very, very spicy. This is absolutely brilliant quality. Boldager comes around. He approaches New Holland here, turn 14. He needs to settle the car, get his foot down as quick as he can and get it up the straight because this man here is pushing. He's pushing and he pushes to pole. It's a 128.3 from Boldager. Unbelievable scenes. Let's go back here. Where's Chucky on track? Chucky on track here. He's into sector 2 now. He's rowing around turn 6. Into 7 and 8 he goes. An absolutely fantastic qualifying session this has been. In fact, if it just carried on quali all night, I think I'd be happy. Eugene's now dropped to P5. Decker's down to P12. Jay Kraut still hanging around there in P14. I think Rufio may have left the session. Maybe thinking he can't do any better. Here we go now with BFR Chucky. This is it, isn't it? This is absolutely it for BFR Chucky. What can he do here? Can he knock a time out right at the end? He has gone green sector 1, green sector 2. It's all about sector 3 now for BFR Chucky. Let's see what he can do. He takes it. BFR Chucky takes pole, 128.016. Absolute scenes here in Spain. Boldager drops to P2. Grit quits. Unbelievable stuff. here in qualification in Spain. Absolutely brilliant. And I mean, wow. There's Kevin there. But I think this is all said and done. BFR Chocky, the league owner in the Red Bull, nicks pole at the last possible moment here. That is crazy. What a qualification that is. Up to date, the best quality I've seen. Absolutely fantastic. Chopping and changing every... Oh, there's an Alpine there around the wrong way. We will run you through your results in just a second. But congratulations. It looks like BFR Chocky takes pole in Spain at the death. There they are. And, well, a massive mention to Kevin Annihilator there on the last lap. He took P2. So P1, BFR Chocky. P2, Kevin Annihilator. P3, Bold Ager. P4, Grit. P5, Darth. Armor King, P6. Eugene in P7. Papa Rim takes P8. Hybrid, P9. It's Deckers in P10. Arctic Ryan in P11. Stone Cold Side takes 12th. Rufio MK takes P13. P14 for J Kraut. Not too sure about positive. Says P15 there, but didn't set a time. So we will see if he joins us. And the guys will just be getting ready. And while they do, we will very, very quickly cut to a short break. So we're just waiting for these guys now to put on their setups, get everything where they need it to be before they come out on track. It looks like a dry race, which is a lot different than what it was in quali. What a qualifying session we had there. Absolutely fantastic. It was chopping and changing all the way through. Then just right at the end, BFR Chocky takes P1. And we also just saw Kevin Annihilator there from around 8th on the grid with his very last lap, managing to squeeze into P2. So really good from both of those guys as well. Really great quality to watch. So before we start, obviously, we'll just take a quick look at the championship standings. We have Arctic Ryan there, the Haas driver, in 220 points. Just 11 back is Grit, 86. He's on 209 points. And then it's very close, P3, 4 and 5. Positive 194, Kevin 194, and then Eugene 192. So very, very tight in the Drivers' Championship. And considering we're halfway into the season, anything could still happen. And then the Constructors' title is still up for grabs there. Haas 363, Merc 335, Ferrari 301 points, and then Red Bull just a little bit further back on 284. But they're your top 4 teams and everything to play for. And I'll tell you, if Red Bull perform via BFR Chocky like he did in quali, they could get a big haul of points and start eating into the lead of Haas. So we should be ready to go very, very soon. I commentated on Qatar on Monday, one of my favourite tracks, and Spain is definitely one of my favourite tracks too. Always good racing action here. First open in 1991. 7 pole positions for Michael Schumacher, which is still the record, and 6 wins is the most by anyone here, and that's held by Schumacher and Hamilton. Hamilton, of course, winning for Ferrari in the 2026 real life F1 and claimed his first Ferrari victory and his 106th career F1 win. Who's going to do it tonight? The Ferraris may well be involved again. The Red Bull certainly will be, you imagine, of BFR Chocky. And we're just waiting here for them to go to the grid. They will complete a formation lap before we start, which is the norm. Deckers is making his debut tonight as a reserve in this league. He's in the Williams. And his first evening, or one of his first evenings, with all the assist switch stuff. So he struggled a little bit there in the rain, but hopefully it will be a bit better for him with the dry track that we can see now. Positive, we're not actually sure what happened. He didn't set a time in quali and didn't even compete in quali, so I'm not sure quite what happened there to the Cadillac driver. Kevin Annihilator left it very late to squeeze into the top 2. The very last lap of quali got him from 8th to 2nd, so he'll be happy enough, I imagine. But it is a realistic tier this on a Thursday evening. Okay, so I'm just being told that Positive starts last, and that will be because of the pace he carries. I imagine he's in a Cadillac as well, so he is very quick. I watched him on Monday evening around Qatar. Thanks for the information, Ryan, as well, by the way, there in the stream. He was in a league of his own, really, massively in front by the end of quali, and then led every lap of the race. So it makes sense he is at the back of the grid and why they do it, and fair play to him for doing that and continuing to race. Sets him a challenge as well. I mean, I imagine it can be boring if you're out in front week after week. I wouldn't know because I've never done it, but I'm sure there's worse things in life. So away we go here. BFR Chocky will lead us off today. He left it late, but took pole in quali. Kevin Annihilator is in P2. Boldija P3. Grit 86 there in P4. Darth in P5. So the 2 Ferraris very close together there. The Alpine in 6th of Armour King. 7th is Eugen in the Mercedes, who was doing really well. He actually had pole twice within quali, I believe, and then he's dropped down to 7th with some late times coming in. Papa Rim there in the Haas. He's in 8th. They'll want a good run today because of the constructors. Hybrid is in 9th. Deckers has managed to work his way up to P10, which is respectable from him considering the assist situation. Arctic Ryan there in P11 in the other Haas, wanting to put in a good performance for constructors' reasons. 12th is Stone Cold Sire. Rufio in P13 in the Red Bull. The other McLaren, Jay Kraut, in 14th. And as we've just discussed there, Positive 15th in the Cadillac. But we expect to see him work his way up the grid. So here we are. If we can just see those lights, and away we will be. 2 red lights, 3, 4, 5, a short hold, and we're away. The Red Bull gets away here. And it looks like the Alpine's made an early move there of Bold Asia. He's got away really well on BFR Chocky, and he's also under pressure from Kevin on the inside there. Ferrari comes as well, but Bold Asia gets away. Everyone seems to get away cleanly. That's very cleanly away, everyone. That's good to see. Let's just see how things pan out early doors. Two McLarens have fallen to the back. Decker's there in P13. And already Baldasia's just pulling around half a second on Chocky, who needs to just try and keep that down to no more than a second. And Papa Rim, something's happened there in the Haas because he's dropped all the way down to 15th. And the Alpine, the Red Bull and the Ferrari all just pulling slightly there on P4 Armour King. Grit in P5 in the Ferrari. Important the Ferraris do well here tonight for the constructors as well. We're just waiting for everything to just settle down and then see where we are. Chocky here has just lost out to the Ferrari of Darth. Darth has managed to get through, and he'll now be on his way down the road to Bodeja. And the Alpine just a little bit wobbly there. So right, okay, let's have a look here. P8 positive. Let's check him out because he's already worked himself from 15th to 8th. In the Cadillac, makes a very light work there of the Mercedes, it seems, although the Mercedes has tried to come back on the inside and actually managed to defend it. Very, very well done there from Eugene, because for a moment it looked a little bit hairy and the Cadillac did well to know what was going to happen. Arctic Ryan there down in 10th. He is your championship leader. He's just chasing down Hybrid in the Racing Bull. Things have just settled down. It's not too hectic here. Bold Asia sets the fastest lap of the race on 1:17. Let's run with Rufio down the straight. And the Red Bull just trying to have a look there on Deckers, but nothing doing at that moment. And here's the Mercedes of Eugene. He's still defending on positive here, although positive seen a gap there down the inside, and I think he's going to take that. He does take it. Very well done, well spotted, and off he went. I think Eugene was maybe focusing a little bit too much on the other car and forgot about the Cadillac. He's now on his way. And we'll just stay with him for a second here, the Cadillac. As Racing Bull went very wide there. Look at this train, it's close racing. Arctic Ryan, I think, went for a look there. And he's hanging on to the back of Hybrid as best as he can to let him drag him around to maybe the straight where he'll have a look. It's all grouped up very nicely though. BFR Chocky now sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:17. And Darth has took the lead here. He's actually overtaken the Alpine. They have the strongest of qual is the Ferrari, but he's going to have naturally more pace here. And let's just go back because Armour King is having a look on grit, but nothing really doing. He's the other Alpine driver, and he's soon going to have positive for company. We'll see how he handles that. Arctic Ryan here, just on board with him now. He's chasing down Hybrid in the Racing Bull, and he'll want to make ground as quick as he can, try and get through this traffic, because like I say, he's the championship leader. He has grit for company in the championship, and grit is up into 4th at the moment, so important he makes as much ground as he can. Let's have a look at Decker's on his debut in the Williams. He's got the race Red Bull for company of Rufio. But yeah, the train is still there. Everybody quite close together. No massive gaps just yet. There must have been some damage at some point for... look at the Williams here, having a look. But no, he's thought better of that and left Arctic Ryan alone. But yeah, something must have happened early doors to Papa Rim, because he's sort of 30 odd seconds behind the rest of them here. Well, let's have a look here at the Red Bull, because he's going side by side with Arctic Ryan. Ryan trying to get this move done, and he has got it done. Rufio loses out. Ryan is in 10th. And just looking at your leader now, Darth, around half a second clear of the Alpine. BFR Chucky following on. It's not an awful lot of battling. We had this around Qatar the other night. It was a very quiet race for a period of time before all of a sudden all hell broke loose in the midfield and they were fighting like cats and dogs, and it was a really good watch. So we hope that this will pick up. BFR Chucky here is just having a look on the Alpine as he comes down the inside. Has he got enough to do it? Who's later on the brakes here? No, the Alpine was far enough ahead to shut the door, but will he be next time round as well? No, BFR Chucky is having a real look here. You can see Arctic Ryan and Rufio keep swapping positions in 10th and 11th. Chucky will, I'm sure, be trying to line up the Alpine for that straight at the end. And I'm not sure what's going on here. Arctic Ryan and Rufio are going wheel to wheel. They keep swapping and changing. The Haas is going to have a little bit less power, isn't it, than the Red Bull, so it's harder for Ryan to make his move, and easier, I suppose, for the Red Bull to keep shutting the door. But I'm sure Ryan, our championship leader, won't give up and will keep working and try and rack up as many points as he can this evening. As we have a look here at the Red Bull again of Chucky chasing down that Alpine as best he can. The Red Bull would be naturally faster, but the skill set of Old Asia will be, I imagine, slightly better. We'll just stay with your leaders for a second, as it seems to be the closest action on grid at the moment. As Chucky's really gluing. He's really trying to work out how to take this Alpine and then get his way up to the Ferrari. Oh, that's good. It looks like he's managed to do it on the inside there, but the problem is the Alpine then has to line back in next time around, and that forces the Red Bull wide. The Red Bull's not giving it up, but now he has to settle back in. And Arctic Ryan is battling here with the Red Bull of Rufio, who's becoming a real pain in the neck for him. It's holding him up massively. A quick mention here that the Cadillac of Positive will stick with him just for a second here. But I think Grit, hang on, something's happened here, because Grit in the Ferrari there has just gone around BFR Chucky. Chucky's trying to fight it. The Ferrari's continuing to get through, and he's come from nowhere really, because we were just more thinking about Chucky making his move on the Alpine in front. He's actually ended up losing a position, and he needs to get his foot back down now. He's dropped from pole to fourth here. Eugene in 7th. He's actually holding on to the back of Positive in the Cadillac, and he's doing a rather good job. Positive here having a look at the Alpine of Armour King, and at some stage you feel he'll get that done and continue to work his way towards those podium spots. And he's now having a look on the inside at the Alpine, and I think he's going to lose it here. No, the Alpine just gets it defended well. as they come through again. That's a good move there from the Ferrari. Oh no, hang on, what's happened here? Grits drops all the way down to 7th. He's gone off the track. BFR's moved back up to 3rd. Is there any damage on that Ferrari? Let's have a look. Oh, there is. Well, it looks like an end plate's missing on the Ferrari. So something's happened. We just literally missed that. Positive's now moved up to 5th, of course. And let's have a look at Kevin, because Kevin's in 7th. He's chasing down Eugen in the Mercedes. But look at this. This is grouping up very nicely now between the front three. BFR is... Chucky is right on the back of it again, on the back of the Alpine. It's all very tight down to sort of 5th place, really. These top 5, it could still be anybody's. Although Positive's on the back of it now. From what I'm hearing, it could be his with this 33 lap race, and we're only sort of 9 laps in. He's got plenty of time to navigate the traffic in front. Still time for Ryan to try and get around the Ferrari, as he does go around the long way round and gets it done on grit, and he's back to chasing Rufio now. That Ferrari is really suffering. It's not the track to run with no end plates, really. You feel at some stage he's going to have to get that repair done. Chucky is again right on the back of the Alpine here. He's really, really trying. Will it be this time around for him? He's very, very close. If he's going to swing it out, he's going to have to do it now. Here he goes. But the Alpine sees it. He goes back the other way, and Stone Cold Side picks up a 3-second penalty. Our first one of the evening there in 12th in the McLaren. But look at this. Chucky trying to find a way past the Alpine. Good defensive work from the Alpine. He knew where Chucky was going to go. I just hope it wasn't under braking. And Chucky goes around the long way. Tries to make this stick and has got through. Persistence pays off. So Darth leads in the Ferrari. The Red Bull there of Chucky is in 2nd place. The 2 Alpines are 3rd and 4th. Positive is hanging on to the back here of Armour King. He'll just be biding his time as the Alpine has a look there for a move back, but doesn't quite get it going. I've just noticed that Deckers is a DNF, so not too sure what happened there. That's a shame on his debut for that to happen. Crushed on turn 2 is what I'm being told from Deckers. Look at this train here. It's incredibly close. And as they all come down to turn 1, I think Chucky's gone for a move there on the Ferrari, and he's got it done. What a move from Chucky. Fantastic driving. Really well done. If there's going to be overtakes, generally speaking, that's where they're going to be done now. It's a now he needs to manage the battery and stay ahead of this group. Oh, I just saw an end plate going. There's another Alpine crashing there. There was some contact. Positive gets around Armour King because of all that happening, and Boldager drops down to 4th as well. I think the Cadillacs took 2 in 1 corner. And now the Cadillac is breathing down the necks of Darth and Chucky. And the other 2 guys I will know. I mean, look, he's come up from 15th place all the way to 3rd in no time at all, really. See how Eugen's getting on here in 6th. He's fighting with the Alpine of Armour King. And it's hopefully nice and clean around here. Oh, and there we go. Positive gets past the Alpine. He's in P2 now. Oh, something's happened because Darth is dropping like a flyer all the way down to 8th. Now 9th. He's gone in to the pits. Now I'm not sure if that was a scheduled stop or... Well, something's happened here because... I think Armour King may have... Let's have a look. Oh no, that's terrible for Grit as well. He takes a penalty, a 3-second track limit. He's P2 in the championship at the moment. Arctic Ryan is now up to P7. So there could be some movement in this championship this evening. I'm just trying to look and see who else is really challenging. Kevin Annihilator there is well within championship reach, and so is Eugen. So if things stay the way they are at the moment, they could be in with some really big points. And there is Eugen in the Mercedes. So the grid is just a little spread out now, but I think that may be because of a few stops as well. Let's just have a look for you. Eugen now chasing down Boldager in third in the Alpine. BFR Chucky seems to be pulling time at the moment from Positive. I'm just checking that Cadillac to see if there was any damage. I feel like something happened, unless Darth just pitted because it was his time to pit. It just seemed early to go in on the window. Okay, so something has happened there from Armour King. I've just been seeing some chat going on. There was a collision of some sort, and he unfortunately has come out worse. So the Cadillac here chasing down the Red Bull of Chucky as best he can, and he is making ground now. He's about half a second better off than he was just a lap ago. Boldager picks up a 3-second time penalty for crossing those white lines too often. As I say, there's a lot of gaps at the moment. Rufio here in the Red Bull though is having a look again at Arctic Ryan. These two are going at it. Look at this, the Red Bull coming down. Is he going to be later on the brakes? I think the Haas has to let him go, doesn't he? And then the Haas gets back on it. And just accepts defeat there yet again. Chased down by the Red Bull. All of a sudden that gap's gone back up. So Positive is starting to struggle. Let's have a look at some tyre allocation. They're both on the mediums, as most of the grid are. Well, it's about a 50-50 split between the mediums and the hards at the moment. Across the grid there is, well, there was a soft runner in Deckers, but that's because he's retired from the session. It's all quieting down. Here's the McLaren of Stone Cold trying to have a look here on Arctic Ryan. That would be a bit of a disaster for Ryan if he lets that position go. He needs to still try to navigate this Red Bull and try and get up in the standings and defend his championship lead as best he can. But Grit is still down the standings and he's P2 in the championship. Positive really could be in. So I don't know here because Positive's gone in for the change. Just watching him. He's now coming in and he is going to, I imagine, go into the hards, and that's exactly what he's done. So it's all change here for a couple of laps before we know where everybody is again. BFR Chucky is still out on those mediums. Now he'll know that Positive has gone in and changed, so I don't think Chucky will leave it too much longer. Same here for Eugen. Eugene, of course, still on his mediums, and Rufio. So those top 6 have not pitted. I imagine we will start seeing everybody coming in, and then it's going to be where they come out. Chucky, if he's not losing too much time, will choose to go, but I think he may come in at the end of this lap to combat the pit stop of Positive, and that's exactly what he's done here. He will be coming in for fresh tyres, and I imagine attempting the one stop is exactly what he's going to do here. He goes on to the hards. And we will just try to see where Chucky comes out here. He's got the Ferrari coming down. And Positive does get through. Yeah. The undercut just about working there for Positive. He goes through on the hards, P4, but on track now will be P1. Arctic Ryan still has not pitted. Is he trying to do something a little bit different here to try to navigate that Red Bull that he was battling all the way through with and just couldn't seem to find a way past? Let's just check one thing here. Yeah, Rufio has gone in, of course, so I'd expect Arctic Ryan to do the same very, very soon and get some fresh tyres on. The gaps are a little bit wider than we'd like to see for the battles, but I'm guessing with the new tyres on, things will start to pan out nicely. And there goes Arctic Ryan into the pits for his change. I would suspect onto the hards. Now, Positive wants Stone Cold and Darth. What's Darth doing here, actually? Because yeah, I think he pitted quite a lot earlier than we expected. And so he may be attempting a two-stop, or he had damage, I'm not too sure. And Rufio there battling with the Ferrari of Grit. Grit struggling again. I mean, I'm looking at the championship standings in both tiers in the week, and Grit is right up there in both. But both times I've commentated on him in this week, it seems like he's just having a bad week, or it might just be the curse of the commentator. He's down in P9 there at the moment, P10 now because the Red Bull has made his move. Armour King has left the session. And we're back on here with Chucky in P4. He's now chasing the Cadillac of Positive. It's a big challenge. Positive has come from 15th on the grid, got to the first set of pit stops and is on track. He'll be P1 once wow, that's been I'm not wrong about Darth going for a two-stop, but he's going to have to pull some time to try to get that done because Positive is chasing him down. And in fairness, Chucky is sticking to the back of Positive here. He's not losing him. And that's what he needs to do. Get as close as he can and be pulled around this track. And Grit continuing to chase Rufio in the Red Bull. Rufio doesn't seem like an easy man to get past. We know this guy, Arctic Ryan, was really battling with him early doors until the first pits. I think Ryan will be glad to be clear of him at the minute, but it's only 1.5 seconds, so he'd like to get a little bit clearer and on the road towards Kevin here in P7. Quiet race from Kevin so far this evening. Not up to too much. He's chasing down the Alpine of Boldager, who was leading this race for a period of time before dropping down. I think there was contact with somebody else, namely Armour King. And Armour King came off worse. Before here, Chucky again having a look towards Positive. He's sticking with him, he's holding him. And here's Grit now having a look on that Red Bull, but again it's just tries to go around the outside, but that's going to be a long way around there, my friend. He manages to save it and just lose a small bit of time, which he's now got to work to get back. Looking across the grid, it seems to be that BFR Chucky is really the closest to having a battle, and that's with Positive, but well, we are a little bit spread out. We'll just have a look here at some of the guys that... Ooh, Goodness me. Well, Hybrid there has taken the scenic route around the track, and I'm not too sure where he's going as he flirts with the wall. Does make contact. He's back on track. And off he goes again. So I was just going to say that. Oh, hang on a minute. There's something going on here because Positive has made his move on the Ferrari. The Ferrari tries to fight it back. But no, he's not going to. And I'll tell you what, I think BFR Chucky may have had a chance to go through as well there. Let's have a look. Going into Repsol. It looks like the Red Bull's got that done. The Mercedes is also trying his hardest to get involved. Eugene, but yeah, BFR and Positive getting it through. Daylight for Positive now. You would imagine there's only one direction he's going, and that is fast and forward. And Hybrid has retired from the session, unfortunately. We still see him having some trouble with the car and going off track. So he's now retired. That's 3 DNFs so far this evening. And Eugene has made a move on Darth. So Darth has gone from P1 to P4 in about 2 or 3 corners. He did pit earlier than everybody else. I assumed he was going for the 2-stop, or he had damage. Wasn't aware of any damage, so I could only assume the 2-stop. And that may be what he has to do, or he's forced into now anyway, but it's going to cost him. He's down to 4th, and Positive is almost a second down the road already. Although Chocky is catching, he's putting metal to the floor here, but he's not going to get that done. And the Ferrari's really dropped off the back of this here. Darth Timms. He's losing time at every corner. And there is Chocky still holding on to the back of Positive. He's clawing him back, and that will be mainly because of the car difference here. Realistic division, remember. So a Cadillac versus a Red Bull. It's no contest, and sometimes no matter how good a driver you are, but Positive is doing well to keep the Red Bull behind him. And this grid is really, really spread now, except for these top 4, really. It's there's some big gaps. Maybe Grit here in P9, if he can chase down the Red Bull of Rufio, who is becoming a real nuisance for people in a good way. He's defending very well. He's very tenacious, not letting people get by. We saw him battling with Arctic Ryan earlier on this evening, and in the end it was the pit stops that seemed to separate the two of them. Here we go again, because Boldager has come into the pit. I'm wondering to see here. It's damage, yes it is. It is damage. I just thought it was a little bit too quick for another pit. So Boldager goes in for a change of wing, and he's on the mediums. So he will try and get those to the end now. And Eugene in the Mercedes is currently 5th in the championship. He's 3rd on track here. He's doing very well. So this could be a big haul of points, because the only man above him on track is Positive, and that is the only man above him in the championship as well. So if Eugene stays where he is, it could be a productive evening for him and the Mercedes, because Merck are also 2nd in the Constructors' Championship, but we do only have one Mercedes on track this evening, so it's going to leave them short of points whatever way you cut it. Haas do have both their drivers still on track. Papa Rim. Oh, hang on a second. Let's just have a look at this Red Bull. I'm not sure if he's going to try to get this done. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it there? So Papa Rim here in the other Haas hasn't had much of a mention. Something happened to him early doors. He went round and I think received damage and had to pit. That's what I believe happened. So he's carried on. Fair play to him, because Haas at the moment are leading the constructors, so important for him to stay on track and get as many points as he can to help his teammate Arctic Ryan as well. And they have a healthy lead in the Constructors' Championship as well. I think it's 28 points, so every point counts. So fair play to him for continuing. And we are back to this top 3. as we just actually have a look at the McLaren here. The McLaren is now making inroads into grit in P8. Stone Cold Sight picked up a penalty earlier this evening, but he's not letting that bother him. He's trying to have a look at this. I mean, a Red Bull, a Ferrari and a McLaren. 3 great cars. And again, we're going to have a look at Jockey here because he's trying to take it on the outside, which kudos to him. He's got that done. Fantastic move there by the Red Bull. He's having a great drive tonight, Jockey. Brilliant in quali there right at the end, and seems to be doing really well on the... Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's just have a look here because I think Eugene fancied taking a move there, making a move on positive. Didn't quite get it done here. And the Cadillac is trying to just squeeze back past, and the Red Bull is trying to prevent that happening. Boldager just sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 15.9. And the Cadillac has squeezed back through. Great battling between them. But back we come down here. Let's have a look. Is the Red Bull going to go to the inside? He doesn't. He follows the Cadillac. The Mercedes is starting to close down now on the Red Bull of Jockey. Eugene will be starting to think about how he navigates Jockey's Red Bull and move into P2. Maybe it's going to be through here. Turn 14 onto the straight. Has the Mercedes got the run on the Red Bull? It didn't look like the Red Bull had the run on the Cadillac. He goes to the inside, swaps back now. And they're all having a look. Eugene's having a look. Oh, there's a little nudge there on the Red Bull. They've kept it together. No damage, it seems. Eugene just maybe left that move just slightly late. But next time round's going to be interesting. Grit in P7 here. He's managed to hold off the McLaren so far, but he's still chasing that Red Bull of Rufio. As Red Bull again following positive as closely as he can in the Cadillac. And Eugene is just hanging onto the back of it. I'm interested to see what happens when they're moving into sector 3 now at turn 10. So let's see what happens as they get into turn 14. Can they get who gets the better exit and gets the run? But the Cadillac just looks like he may have got a bit of a gap here. Heading into 13 and then into 14 down the run. It's a little bit more spread out than it was last time. I don't think the Red Bull's going to be close enough, but the Mercedes may be close enough on the Red Bull this time. Let's have a look. No, I don't think any of them are close enough, are they? Doesn't look as though anyone's going to get it done here. And not going to happen. And here's Grit now trying to line up the Red Bull in the Ferrari P7 and P6. He's having a look here, the Ferrari. Surely this is where he's going to get it done. He goes to the inside. The Red Bull doesn't fight it too hard. Now he's got to hold it through this corner here, but I think the Red Bull may get this back here. They come around. The Ferrari's nose is in front, but the Red Bull gets the better exit, and off he goes again. And what has Grit got to do to get around this Red Bull? The Red Bulls are performing very well this evening. It looks like this track was made for those two cars, certainly defensively. Let's have a look at Jay Kraut here in P10. He's in the McLaren and said kudos to him the other night in Qatar, the only man on track not to receive a penalty, a track penalty. He done very, very well. Not the fastest out there, but certainly keeping it between the white lines and doing it the right way. And that's all you can do. But there's a change for the lead. Oh, that's because Positive has pitted. I saw a change. I got excited. It's a pit stop for Positive, which actually surprises me. So I assume he's going to go onto the softs. That's my best guess. Or did he have... He's gone onto the hards. So, interesting. Not too sure what the call is there. It may be because of the pace that he has. They've enforced that rule on him as well. He must do a two-stop, or not too sure. Didn't see any sense in it. The BFR Chucky now leads the race from Eugene, nearly a second gap. Grit has made that move. Oh no, he hasn't actually. He's actually lost the place to Stone Cold Psy, so he's in 6th. He's moved up because of Positive going into the pit. And we are approaching the last few laps of this race. It's not been as action-packed as I would have hoped, although it sometimes happens. It can't be helped, especially in a realistic division. It's been some good battles though. Quali was absolutely superb. One of the best qualifications I've really ever watched here, as Rufio is now on the back of Arctic Ryan. Just want to have a look at our tyre situation. So Arctic Ryan may actually get a good result from this. He still may, but I'm not going to say too much because things can change. Stone Cold Psy, of course, has that track limit penalty. Positive here makes he's in 6th. The 2 Ferraris are now swapping. Darth in 7th, Grit in 8th because Grit has gone to the pit. There seems to be some odd decisions with the pits at the moment, but it's Baldagia was in P10. He led this race after Chucky took pole. Baldagia made his move early on, and Eugene has just taken the lead. There's some contact there of some sort. No damage on either car. As Stone Cold Psy has a look down on Rufio, but nothing showing. And Chucky and Eugene are going down the straight. Chucky now moves to the inside to try to get this move done, and does get it done. Doesn't fight too hard. The Mercedes there. Yeah, just checking both cars. None of them seem to have any damage at all, but there also did seem to be a collision of some sort. And Stone Cold there again having a look on Rufio in the Mercedes, in the Red Bull. Kevin Annihilator coming through here, or trying to come through on the McLaren, but that McLaren straight line speed, is it too much? Racing Bull has a look, goes to the inside, and does very well to gain the position there. He's moved up into 8th. Papa Rim still there in 12th. Slugging away. Jay Kraut here. He's trying to chase down the Racing Bull again of Kevin. Eugene has really dropped off the back of Chucky here. He'll make some time back up down the straight, but I don't think he's close enough to make any sort of move on him. And it looks as if Chucky may just start to pull a bit of a gap here and secure victory in Spain. There are gaps forming everywhere. Positive in 6th now. I'm not too sure what that pit stop was about at the end there. Fastest lap from Grit. And he's in P11, so another disappointing night for him tonight. Arctic Ryan might come out of this looking... Let's check his tyre wear. He looks okay, so how he would have pulled a possible P3 out of this is incredible, because he was nowhere to be seen really, and he was fighting for Rufio with Rufio, sorry, for a hell of a long time. But then some strange decisions seem to be made across the grid in regards to pit stops. The one from Positive I can't get my head around, unless of course we know how fast he is and he has to start at the back of the grid in the worst car, so it could well have been a case of he has to do a second stop or use 2 sets of hards or something like that. That's all I can think of. I might get briefed on that later, but what I will say is Eugene has got back onto the back of Chucky, so he may have been harvesting for a while, but he's now well within reach. And here's the Ferrari looking to make a move on the McLaren here of Jay Kraut, who is trying to defend, but I think the Ferrari might get this done if he moves across late. He's gone for it here. Let's have a look. He's got his nose ahead, and he's very clearly, he's got that done very well there, Grit, and he's now P9. But points-wise tonight, this could be big for Ryan and Grit, because Ryan is third and Grit is ninth, and they are P1 and 2 in the championship, so that gap could really, really widen by the end of this race if Ryan manages to hold out, which it's looking very, very likely. And Positive is now on the back of Rufio. He will get this done very shortly, I imagine, in the Cadillac. Great driver is Positive to watch. Started P15, and that's where he was forced to start, but he's managed to get all the way back up. He led the race for a period of time as well. Here he goes, trying to have a look, deploying the battery. Not sure if it's going to be done this time though. The McLaren's having a little look outside as well, but nothing showing this time. So 2 to go. And this is where it's at the moment. As Positive, I think he may have got this move done on the Red Bull here. Manages to block the space back on the inside. He is up to 4th. There's a very long way now to, well, 2 seconds to chase Arctic Ryan. Not sure if he'll get that done in 2 laps. But obviously he's on a lot fresher tyres, so it's still a possibility of knocking Ryan off of the podium. P1 and 2, Chocky and Eugen. Half a second, the gap. Oh my goodness me, an absolute shocker for Chocky. He's picked up a 3-second penalty on the going on to the last lap. Eugene now can afford to relax. He's just got to stay within 3 seconds of Chocky, and that is an absolute nightmare for the Red Bull driver. He will be fuming. He's done so well tonight, but there's nothing he can do about it. He's not gonna pull 3 seconds or 2.5 more seconds in this lap, I don't imagine, unless Eugene has an absolute mare. Stone Cold Sire just swapping positions with Rufio for a second. That's incredible. And Eugene now in the Mercedes is looking, and there's another 3 seconds for Bold Asia, so they're all flying in now. But if Eugene can keep it between the white lines and keep this gap to where it is, he is going to be your race winner in Spain. What a result for him. He's just hang on to the back of everything this evening. And he will be absolutely elated that this could end up in victory. Chocky, you've got a feel for him, but the rules are the rules. Positive in P4 now, but we just want to watch these guys come across the line. They're going around turn 14, and BFR Chocky is going to cross the line in first, but your race winner is going to be Eugen here in the Mercedes. A fantastic result, and Positive here is just chasing down Arctic Ryan. I think Ryan's going to hold on for 3rd place in a podium, is he? Ground turn 14 we go. It's going to be close. I think he's got it though. He's got a decent enough exit, and that secures P3 for the Haas driver, P4 for Positive. So if we go here to, let's try and see where we are. P8, Kevin coming across the line now in the Racing Bull with the Ferrari of Grit behind him. And here is Jay Kraut, sorry. Careful drive from him as always. No penalties again. And he crosses the line with a top 10 finish. So good result for him. Sorry, we just had a technical issue there, but we're back. So there are your race results. And there's a few shockers there. Bold Asia dropping down to 11th in the end. He'll be upset, but a lack of discipline, keeping it between the lines wouldn't have helped. And I think he had some wing damage as well from a collision from Armour King. But yes, Eugene has taken the win in Spain. An amazing result. It looked all set for Chocky to take the victory. But a 3-second penalty going on to the last lap, and he lost it. Race winner Eugene, fastest lap, Boldager, positive there as driver of the day, and most certainly was 15th to first at one point. Most overtakes positive, cleanest driver positive. And here are your race results. Eugene takes first, BFR Chocky in second, Arctic Ryan takes third, positive fourth, Rufio MK takes fifth, Stone Cold takes sixth, seventh is Darth Tims, eighth is Kevin Annihilator, ninth is Grit, Jay Kraut takes 10, 11th is Boldager, Papa Rim takes 11th, and then your DNFs were Hybrid, Armor King, and It's Deckers. So an interesting evening. Quali was fantastic. I've already mentioned one of the best qualifiers that I've seen since commentating. It was absolutely brilliant, chopping and changing all the way through. Can't wait to watch it back. It was really, really good. The race itself panned out, some gaps across the grid at times, not as action-packed as we would have liked, but that happens sometimes. Not much you can do, and especially in realistic cars as well. BFR Chocky there had it all in the bag, going around turn 14 and going on to lap 36, I think it was, the last lap of the race, and he went wide and gained a 3-second time penalty. Eugene tucked in just behind by about half a second, comes across the line in second place, but actually wins the race. So, yeah, big news for Eugene tonight. That's a massive haul of points for him. He'll work his way up, gaining big points on the likes of Grit, Positive, Kevin, towards Arctic Ryan, who did finish on the podium as well in third place. So, in the end, not too bad an evening for him. Haas, well, they've got their podium finisher, so they won't be too bad in the drivers. But Mercedes have made inroads there as well with their race win. So that's everything from BFR for tonight, everything from me for tonight. I'm not too sure when I'm back, as I'm only stepping in to support while the other commentators are not available. Hopefully I'll get a call to come back soon, though, because I've enjoyed it. And we will be back on Tuesday, I believe, with SSRL for the closing race of their season.